Okay, cool. Hey, Khalil, congratulations on the win. What was good? What was bad about today? You guys, big lead. You still won, but I know you guys are always in search of getting better.
I just felt like early in the game, towards early in the second half, we could have put them away, and we kind of let them stay around. So I just feel like we gotta get better at stuff like that. Just execute and just continue to get better.
What about your personal performance? 17 points, 4 blocks, career high for you. So you you looked really comfortable out there today.
I feel like I turned the ball over a little bit more than I thought I should have. I feel like I could have rebounded the ball a little bit better, and stuff like that.
Well, I'll ask another one. Given what you guys went through with VCU and coming back, how good does it feel to bounce back from a really tough loss like that?
I mean, yeah, at the VCU, the team we just regrouped and we all had like a team meeting. We was all just figuring out ways we can get better, ways to play stuff each player could do better, and what we did wrong that game, and just how we can come back and get better and respond against Northeastern. And I think we did that. I still think we have a long way to go. I still think we're talented enough to win the whole thing. But yeah, that's our main focus, was just getting better and what guys can do to get better, and what guys.
Sorry to interrupt. Do you think maybe this team's still kind of going through some growing pains right now in terms of who does what?
I think still some players on the team, including myself, still trying to figure out what our role is on the team and how to be more consistent every night. Just try to bring that same role every night. So when guys figure that out, I think we'll be good.
Hello. How tough was it when you guys found out you had all those games? You had a handful of games that were postponed, and you guys play at VCU last week. You got to wait a whole another week. Is it harder to grow when you're playing so sporadically?
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, hold on, my fault. I'm like cramping.
Sorry.
But yeah, it was definitely tough. We knew the George Mason game got canceled, and we just knew that we still had to stay focused and still get in the gym and still not lose our focus. It was definitely tough being not playing the game for a week, but we still knew what our end goal was, and we knew Northeastern just came off a game, so they still had our focus, so we couldn't let down. I apologize. I'm cramping. My fault.
No worries. What were the biggest keys down the stretch today? What was Coach telling you during those huddles when things were getting tight and you guys needed defensive stops? They were getting hot. They were getting confident. What were the biggest moments down the stretch of this one today?
Free throws and just taking care of the ball and defensive rebounding and just getting stops. That was really the key point, just making those free throws. I remember it was 60-60, and I had 2 free throws to take the lead, and that was big because if I would have missed those, they could have took the lead, and the game could have just turned momentums in that way. So just making free throws. Leak hit 2 big ones. We got a couple of defensive stops. I felt like we could have rebounded the ball better at the end, but we played some really good-ass defense at the end, so that was a plus.
Thank you.
Anything else for Kalu?
So I guess starting off, what went right, what went wrong today in terms of you got the win, you're happy, but
at times I thought we played extremely well. When you look at those spurts where we played really good basketball at both ends and were able to pull away from Northeastern, I think that clearly shows the positives. I thought we showed some immaturity with our inconsistency when we did those things, and we weren't able. We didn't, for whatever reason, keep making the same plays. Right? We tried to get cute offensively. Maybe we just got a little lazy at the defensive end, but whatever it was, we shot ourselves in the foot a number of times, whether it's turnovers or bad shots or defensive miscues, and just let Northeastern get right back in the game. Like you said, we're happy to get the win. there were a lot of situations I thought, down the stretch, we got some big stops, and that's great experience to have to, get defensive stops and really dig down. We got a couple big baskets when things were tied or very, very close, one possession. And then there were a couple big free throws. So, there were things down the stretch I think we benefited from. We'll watch this film tomorrow before we watch the Virginia Wesleyan film. And hopefully be able to learn, because we've got to keep getting better. We've got to grow up. We've got to get tougher. We got to be able to grind. I've been talking about getting back to basics. That's it. It's nothing. It's not rocket science, right? It's simple stuff that we can do, but it's a matter of doing it and doing it consistently.
Coach, before the season, you and I spoke, and you expected Kalu to step up a lot this year. Have you seen that from him this year so far?
Yes, at times. Obviously, I think he made a couple nice plays early on, and then he wasn't the only one. We got fatigued. There was a stretch there for 4, 5, 6 minutes without any fouls or any dead balls, and both teams were really sucking wind. And rather than having the physical and the mental toughness to lock in, and this is after we'd stretched out a pretty good lead, we kind of gave in to fatigue. I think that happened to Kalu, and finally I was forced to use a timeout, which I wasn't crazy about doing, but just to get fresh guys in there. But from that point, I didn't think Kalu really had the kind of intensity that we wanted. And at halftime, I told him, I said, look, I'm not playing mind games. I'm simply telling you I'm starting Austin Trice to start the second half because I want to make you angry. I get mad at me, get mad at something, but I want you to play, like a man possessed out there. And it wasn't a perfect second half for him, but I thought he bounced back and played much better in the second half. Kalu is very bright and he's sensitive, and sometimes players can be too smart, too much of a thinker for their own good, and I think right now that applies to Kalu. He's got to trust the work that he puts in. He's got to trust that he's a good player, and he's just got to let it go. And I know Wichita State had a slogan out there a few years ago with their former coach, Greg Marshall, about playing angry. And Kalu is so nice. Maybe Kalu needs to play angry. I don't know, but he's a very capable player. And the more we can get him playing at that high level of intensity and focus and not thinking things through, the better he's going to be, and we'll all reap the benefits.
Do you almost
Coach,
sense
go
ahead.
Sorry, go ahead, Frank.
Do you sense that, I asked Kalu this, that this team is still, with all the absences and not playing games sometimes because of COVID, that they're still trying to figure out their roles a little bit, even though it's a lot of returners? Yes,
and I think maybe after the VCU game, I talked about me needing to do a better job, and I think that was one of the things. That was one of the areas where I needed to make sure that people understood what was expected for them, what their role is, and how they can help our basketball team, because not everybody can be not only the leading scorer, but there's guys that their job is to do other things other than score, and if they score in certain ways, that's okay, but they can't be looking for their own offense. And I think we had guys that were very enamored, and everybody, nobody hesitated to take an open shot, which, is fine given the time and score and all of that, and given your shooting percentage. But we didn't have guys, waiting in line to take a charge or to really, move our feet and get down in a stance and be excited about playing defense. So that's part of what the getting back to the basics this past week has been about, is finding roles and understanding that it's not always fun and games, and that sometimes somebody's got to do the dirty jobs.
Coach, kind of piggybacking off of trying to mesh and trying to find each other's roles, how difficult has that been? And you said that this was going to be the reality of trying to play during COVID-19, but you guys had that handful of games that were canceled a few weeks ago. You played VCU last week, and then you had to wait an entire week to play tonight. How hard is that as a coach to try to find the formula, as it were, playing so few games, playing so sporadically?
Well, I think the difficult thing is, trying to get players excited about practicing. When you're practicing way more than you're playing games, that can get monotonous. I understand. I get it. You can learn, in games, the stuff that you work on in practice, applying it in live game situations, and we haven't had that. So I think maintaining, trying to get their attention and hold on to it, and be excited about this stuff has been one of the challenges for me, and I'm sure probably lots of coaches out there. The teams, I don't know, like a Gonzaga, it seems like they get games canceled and then they're flying off to the next one. That's not our reality, and so we're trying to do the best we can. That's why Tuesday's game is so important. People might say, well, Virginia Wesleyan's a Division III school, they haven't played any game. We get to play against somebody other than ourselves. We get to come out here, and it might only be 250 people, but we're going to have referees, and I think it's a big deal, and I want to make sure our guys, share that feeling from me that this is another way for us to get better, another way to learn about ourselves, but it's not practice. So I think they should and will be very excited.
Jeff, Kalu said that after the VCU game.
I believe you're on mute, David.
I'm not.
Oh.
Oh, you hear me?
Now I can.
Okay. I don't know what's going on. Kalu said that after the VCU game, there was a team meeting. Were you involved in that?
Nope.
Players only. What have you heard about it?
Basically, they watched the film together, and I'd say their thoughts were pretty consistent with mine. That didn't represent our effort. Didn't represent the kind of basketball team that we want to be.
And how pleased were you with the way today's game ended with free throws and defense? I mean, those are things that every coach likes to see, I think.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, I thought there were some things that I'm really happy with, but there were some things that I wasn't. But the fact that we did those things down the stretch, we played some excellent defense when we needed to. We made some free throws. There were two really clutch buckets I thought that we got when we needed to execute. That's all part of the learning curve. So those were very positive things. And as I mentioned, our defense, I think the main focus has been on team defense. But Xavier Green, you want guys to be leaders and examples. I thought Xavier Green had, and I haven't looked at the stats, so I don't know if he has any steals or any block shots. But you know what? He had a great game at the defensive end, and some possessions that were you could use them, for a teaching film of how to move your feet and stay in front of your man, and that was really good to see, and hopefully our guys understand, and we'll see, and because if you get one guy doing that, then you can get two, then you can get three, then you can get four, and then you got something. And obviously we're trying to build, as a team at both ends. But right now, I think a lion's share of our attention and time is being spent trying to get better at the defensive end.
Anything else for Coach? Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks, guys.